a tasty BLT. We're cooking in the kitchen with a city fact record. You know it's gonna be a tasty BLT, a tasty BLT, tasty BLT, a tasty BLT, yeah, oh, tasty BLT, tasty BLT. We're cooking in the kitchen with city fact record. Yeah! That's right.
Welcome.
All right. So, welcome everybody to the first ever segment of Cooking with CFR.
City with the facts cooking.
We got Austin Hills and myself, Jacob Ott, and today we're going to be whipping up a tasty
BLT.
Now, the first step to an amazing BLT is starting with the perfect, freshest, most decadent, delicious ingredients. Austin is going to give you a quick rundown of what we just got at the local Stop and Shop.
All right, we're gonna bring our friend Pat on over with the camera. He's gonna show us who we are. Fresh head of lettuce, straight from the vine. And we got tomatoes, just freshly plowed from the ground. Bread, a hearty sandwich bread. You gotta go with a hearty bread, because if you don't go with a hearty bread, they're gonna loosen up, they're gonna spill about, all the ingredients are gonna go everywhere. I cannot stress this enough. This is the most important part of the sandwich, is the bread. If you go with bad bread, no matter what ingredients you put into it, it's gonna be bad. On to the next step, the bacon. As we previously stated, go with a good traditional cut of bacon. If you cheap out on a bacon, it's gonna be too salty. It's not gonna cook right. You know, you ever go to somewhere and you get some bacon, it's too dry, too salty, just genuinely gross, too greasy, all that stuff like that. No, you want a decent cut of bacon. Spend your money on the bacon. It'll make it worthwhile.
Absolutely.
Behind that, you want some really decent quality cheese. It's the icing on the cake, honestly. I've seen so many people not put cheese on a BLT, and it ends up just being kind of dry, you know? Something's missing. It's the cheese, right? Get a good quality cheese. Right here we have an actual Irish cheddar. Spent a little bit of a pretty penny on, and it's gonna be worth it in the end. So we're gonna cut now, start preparing the vegetables, preparing the ingredients, and then we'll get on to cooking. Real quick. Thank you.
I'm waking up to the smell of cooking bacon, burning in the griddle on my stove. I'm cutting up the lettuce and tomatoes and getting a nice browning on my toast. I'm drowning my sorrows in breakfast, warming up the butter of my soul. If bacon doesn't help a man forget this, the perfect BLT will fill that hole. Some folks say there ain't no perfect sandwich. Well, I would like to kindly disagree. You see, there's something special about this one, the one they like to call the BLT. I'm drowning.
All right, everybody. Now we're gonna get to my personal favorite part of creating a decadent, delicious BLT, and that is cooking our most important ingredient, the bacon. Okay, so today we have a Boar's Head traditional bacon. It's a product of Canada. It is naturally smoked. Just so the viewers are aware, the Boar's Head was established in 1905. They've got a representative slice right there. It looked good to me at Stop and Shop. Now, I don't see, sometimes the bacon has an easy package that allows you to just kind of peel it open, but you know, that can be indicative of a cheap product. So this one we're actually gonna need to go ahead and cut with this this very dull blade. I'll try not to injure myself here. This bacon's looking pretty good. It doesn't expire for another 3 weeks or so now. So we should be good in that regard. Now just remember folks, when you're cooking bacon, it's important to do it at someone else's house because it really kind of makes a mess of the pans. You kind of get grease everywhere, and you really don't want to deal with cleaning that at your own house. So just say, hey, I'm gonna make you some free BLTs, but really, you just don't want to do the greasy dishes, let's be honest. So he's got an electric stove here, that's cool. I prefer gas burners, but when you're cooking at your friend's house, beggars can't be choosers, am I right? So we're gonna wait for this to heat up. Make sure the bacon is getting a nice, clean, crisp outside texture throughout the entire bacon. You don't want raw, burnt, you know, you want to keep a nice, crisp texture throughout the entire bacon. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go like this. The bacon's not moving yet because it's pretty raw in the pan. But you know, you kind of look like a chef when you go like this to the outside viewer. You just kind of, it looks good. It's a good housewarming trick. So we're gonna let this bacon cook, and we'll see you right after it's done.
Sometimes my breakfast don't leave me feeling full. Buttered toast and bacon is all I know. Sometimes you just don't feel like a plate of home fries. No omelets to fill me, please hold the egg white. A BLT's the only thing that makes me feel alright. Bacon, lettuce, tomatoes, oh that'd be nice. A BLT for breakfast fills my soul. It's the only thing in the world that makes me feel whole.
All right, everyone. Looks like our bacon is just about done. As I said previously, I'm cooking at my friend's house, so I'm not going to need to clean that greasy bowl. So what I'm going to do now, you just want to fold, you really just want to fold the paper towel over the bacon and just punch it. You know, just get it right in there with the paper towel, punch it. Because that's how you're going to sap that grease right out of there. Because you don't want a greasy BLT. Anyways, we've sapped up a good amount of that grease here with the paper towel. Give you a close-up of that. Give you a close-up of that bacon. It's perfectly cooked. I don't mean to commend myself, but I've cooked some bacon. All right. Now we're gonna pass the camera over to Austin Hills, and he's gonna show you the ideal assembly of a BLT.
So now we're back. We got all of our ingredients prepared. Bacon cooked to perfection. Of course, you could take all these ingredients, you put them together, you have a pretty nice sandwich. But if you want to bring it to the next level, here's what we're gonna do. We got our baking sheet, we got our aluminum foil, shiny side down always. It's always the way to do it. You can put a little grease on it, a little oil, a little pan, whatever you got, wipe it down nice and smooth finish. We put those down, and then we're gonna layer these for you. Put the bacon on the bread and the mountain is gonna go a lot faster than how it goes in real life. So now you see, I just put the bacon and the cheese on there. You put the lettuce and tomato on there, not as great hot. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to put it in the oven, which is preset to 400 degrees, which is toasting degrees. 400 degrees is perfect. Just give it 10 minutes, toast in there, and here we go. Make sure you wash your fingers. You don't want to burn those. I've heard too many horror stories of people doing that. Kitchen timer, 10 minutes. Give it a go. Make sure you check on it in about 8. Make sure you're not burning anything. Okay, so now our BLTs have been in there for exactly 10 minutes. Oh, these are looking beautiful. Look at those. The cheese is melted perfectly over the bacon. Now it's time to add our other ingredients to them. The first thing we're gonna start with is the tomato. I prefer the beefsteak tomatoes because they give you a little more depth to them than other tomatoes do. As far as like plum tomatoes, vine tomatoes, they're a little smaller. The beefsteaks give you a little more girth to them. Tomatoes give it the juice, you know? A lot of people tend to overuse sauces. What you really need is a good tomato. So here's what we're gonna do next. On top of that is the L in the BLT, the lettuce. And usually the leafier pieces are the ones that work the best. Sometimes, like if you look at this, like a crunchy piece, it's gonna feel out of place in there. So so we're just gonna get rid of that. And give these some leafy pieces. You don't want to overdo it with the lettuce, but a nice good crunch is really what's gonna make it. And since I hope you picked up on it, we use nice hearty buns. We talked about that in the beginning. If you use weak bread, it's gonna be a bad sandwich. Put those on there. What you want to do is give them just a little bit of a press. Not enough to break the buns, which is easy to do. Some people press a little too much, and it ruins the sandwich. Like you're not eating a pancake. We're taking one of these beautiful BLTs. See, they come up like nothing because you grease the pan. If you don't grease the pan, they're gonna stick. And you're stuck here with a spatula and you're scraping all day. Look at that. Beautiful BLT. Perfect amount of bacon, cheese, tomato, lettuce, the bread. And I'll be honest, it always comes out good.
Please don't leave the bacon on the side.
Perfecto.
I'm gonna give it a try as well.
Put it
I'm the
on
one who cooked the
a
bacon,
Kaiser roll tonight.
so I hope the bacon is good at least.
Lettuce could be shredded, I don't mind. Believe me, my tomatoes thin slice. A BLT release me
Good.
from the thoughts that
Now
run in
we have an
circles
amazing
around my
friend of ours, Vice President, amazing producer and musician for City Fact Records, the one, the only, Pat Burrell. He's gonna try this BLT. Now, for reasons I won't go into detail about, he cannot have tomatoes. It's just a dietary restriction for him. So, real quick, I'm just gonna this. It's gone. It's gone for Pat. So it's really a BL. It's a BL, and Pat is gonna try it right now, and he's gonna give you a candid reaction. We used his kitchen. We left him a greasy pan to clean, so he's gonna hopefully enjoy this BLT.
Really excited to be here for this BLT, I think.
Yeah, no, it's. He loves Tokyo, by the way.
I do.
He's been to Japan several times. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, boys.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'd call that a City Fact success. I really love how the roll on the outside is toasty. The bacon's warm with a little crunch.
making
The lettuce, super crisp, super fresh. Cheese melted
leaves
just
me
perfect.
feeling fine. So cook me a BLT tonight.
Alright, everybody. This was the first episode of Cooking with the Facts. We have chef and musician extraordinaire Austin Hills.
Very pleasured to be here.
Of course, Pat Burrell, vice president of City Fact Records, and oh my gosh, was he an amazing sport for trying this BLT.
It's quite the BLT.
And this, myself, is Jacob Ott, your CEO and president of City Fact Records. We promise not only to bring you amazing local music, but also some fun little tidbits here and there. And today's segment of Cooking with the Facts, we brought you the perfect BLT, and I hope you try this recipe at home. Thank you, and City Fact Records signing off. Remember to dream big
Take action.
And support local cooks.
and music.
I thought that support local cooks would be nice.